Indiana state law makes it very clear when it defines the difference between a missing person and what it considers a high-risk missing person. When reading the criteria for this, it becomes clear that several aspects cover the girls and their disappearance. Once one or more of the criteria were met, it should have caused an activation of policy that began the investigation into the disappearance of the girls. But for whatever reason, it didn't, and unfortunately, it wasn't taken seriously for almost 12 hours. Enough time for their abductor to potentially escape, for the crime scene to get so expansive that it couldn't be covered, and enough time that any hope that one of the girls lived was gone. The taxpayers, and especially the victims, were let down that day by Carroll County. The key to this lackluster investigation lies in its leader. He sure made it difficult for himself and his friends to move forward in this case, and this has to start with the search on February 13th. Let's take a look at the sheriff's peculiar actions on February 13th, 2017. He did not enter the missing persons info into the IDAX system for missing persons until the next day. He turned down local canine search dogs, claimed that canines were coming from Illinois and/or Kentucky.
My team attempted to look for records about the canines and the requests, but were unable to stumble on any records.
He lied several times to the media, claiming that he didn't believe the girls were in any imminent danger, while also admitting that the environment is their greatest threat. Keep in mind that it was 32 degrees Fahrenheit that night, and neither girl were dressed properly. Among his many white lies that he fed to the news to deflect blame, he stated that the girls had ran away several times before. The family has confirmed that this is totally untrue. He failed to secure the scene or contact any neighboring law enforcement about the missing persons case. Each and every one of these points contributed to the case now becoming cold. These girls deserve better, and only you can help the families by holding Tobe Lezenby and Carroll County accountable for the things that they've done. Fear may stop local detractors from scrutinizing these bullies from controlling the outcome of this case, but their biggest mistake was making this case go viral. The social media presence has ensured that these questions about integrity continue to be asked until we're given the truth. It's taken 4 years for Carroll County to even start to get all shook up. So many resignations, many by high-ranking officials. It seems that even some of these guys have a bit of a conscience. At the end of 2016, a house fire claimed the lives of 4 children and nearly their mother in Flora, Indiana. Initially, the fire was deemed not suspicious by fire investigators and canine. No accelerants were ever found. Months later, however, Carroll County fire investigator Dennis Randall, in this role for 13 years at the time, opened an investigation into the arson homicide. In the forms, suddenly claimed that in fact accelerants were indeed found in the house and in multiple areas. It was later determined in review that Randall was not only incorrect about these findings, but also that he outright lied about them. Why would he do this? Because of his son's connection to the landlord, and because the Auditor General had just months earlier began investigating the paperwork inquiry into the victim's mother in regards to insurance for the landlord. This led to Dennis Randall's resignation as fire investigator, and ultimately the resignation of his son, Flora Fire Chief Adam Randall. Interestingly, around the same time, Randall's ex-wife, Jean Ann, was caught stealing cash from the clients of the law firm that she worked for. The funds ended up totaling over $20,000. She got a mere 36 months of probation for this,
and gave an empty promise to pay it back. "4 years is a long time to live without a single answer, and the victims' families
They've waited long enough. We must stand behind the notion that truth is better than silence, that compassion supersedes this type of economic vampirism. I encourage any of my viewers who are from Indiana and may have knowledge of any state or county government officials or law enforcement that are involved in public corruption crimes, please contact your state and federal investigative agencies to file a complaint. To the families of the victims, I and so many others want to see this through with you, and we will.